G'day everyone, Jackson here. Welcome back to the weekly endeavours for the 28th of April. We've got a 255 seal set with stealing items from the environment. Ooh, I love these ones. Complete Battleground matches and defeat 300 enemies. So I just want to make a distinction. This is definitely the best one, better than this one, and this is definitely the shittiest option. In like the best possible scenario for this will be slower by leagues than the worst possible case for this. Just don't even look at it. I mean, obviously, people will be like, but Jax, I want to do Battlegrounds during the week. Yeah, sure. If you're going to do them anyway, do it. But it will be so much slower than just doing it this way, if you just want to get the weekly done. Right, so I will start with this. I will cover this one as well, but I just want to start with this one first, because yes, it's so good. So I'll go through the DLC option first, the best one. But the non-DLC option, all that really changes is that it's slower. And by slower, I mean, instead of taking like 2 minutes, it'll take 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. So this is where you go. Firstly, Necrom Outskirts. You need the Necrom DLC to get access to this. So if you go into the store, DLC, just type in Necrom, this one. So we are headed to the Necrom Underways. A lot of people might be familiar with this, but I'm just going to quickly go through how to get there, if you haven't been there. So come through the main gate of Necrom, on your horse, just keep moving and head to the Wayshrine. As soon as you get to the Wayshrine, just take a lefty, take another lefty, and you get the Outlaws Refuge here. There is an entrance on the outside, but I just find it's quicker going through the city. Once you get inside, you're just looking for the stairway, jump over here, through this archway, and you're just heading to the northern exit over here. Now, I would advise, before you start this, have some inventory space, quite a bit, because you will use up this shit like it's fucking nothing. So what I would do is maybe look at making a couple of characters, and just having their like completely empty inventories and using that, and then so that there's a limit to how many items you can sell to fences a day. So maybe just like sell the stuff on them each, or anything that you don't sell or are not able to sell, just leave it in their inventory, and then once the day passes and the amount you can sell resets, you sell them again, and just put the gold in the bank after that. That's what I'd suggest if you can't do that. If not, if you can get it all on one character to level up Leisure Domain, because when, you know, for example, today we've got fucking pickpocketing, and that's an annoying one with that high Leisure Domain. Like, leveling up a character's Leisure Domain is good, so if you can get one character for this, it's better. But yeah, it's not a big deal. So, in the Necrom Underways, you have these urns here. What you want to do is go to Settings, Gameplay, Auto Loot Stolen Items, and just fucking go nuts. Grab everything. And each item that each stack of items that you collect from all of these urns will count as stealing an item from the environment. And if you look at all these urns here, there are so many in this place, it's ridiculous. We've got urns here, some urns there, urns there, urns there, urns, you know, and it goes all the way, and there is nobody in here that will ever stop you. There's no NPCs that will get in the way, so you'll never get a bounty from using this method. So it's just amazing. And the best part about it is once you have like a big chunky inventory taken up, go back outside. And a little movement south, and you get this fence here, and so you can just sell everything to him. And then when you go back into the Outlaws Refuge like this, it counts as leaving the zone. And what leaving the zone does is it resets every single urn in here. So you can just do this as many times as you want, as many times as you just have inventory for it. So you just keep doing it over and over. It's just like so fucking good for doing this one. Now, if you don't have access to this DLC, don't panic, or just, I mean, who's going to panic? But don't worry, there is a way to do this. It's just the scale of how many items you can take per time is just significantly lower, that's all. Right, so the other option is the Gem and Flask in Craglorn. If you don't have access to Craglorn yet, you can either get a player to bring you, or what I suggest you do is go to Home Tours, browse homes, or houses. Look for any that are in Craglorn, but the best one I think is Elenir Private Arena. This one here. Because what that'll do is, even though as soon as you enter Craglorn, this way shrine will get unlocked, so you can travel to it from that point. Elenir Private Arena is like here, so all you have to do is come up here, just a quick trek to the west, and you're in Belkarth, and you've got this way shrine from this point, so you can just use this whenever you want. So let's come inside. What you're looking for is this section up here. There's nobody up here, so it's just tons of stuff here. You've got the tomato crate, and you've got this thing here just full of all these like cooking materials. So grab that. There's a rabbit there. Don't miss the rabbit. Got some green basket, the crate, the millet sacks as well. They have items in them. The crate, barrel. This barrel's different. I don't know what it's like a quest, I guess. Yeah, everything here. Once you've collected everything, come out this door. Just look for the barrels. Grab this stuff. I'm pretty sure you don't know for certain, but I haven't gained a bounty from taking any of this stuff, and I've done this a lot of times. Once you go down here, you can do the same. I don't know for certain though. Maybe if someone's coming through here, they might see you. So just maybe, just in case, go stealth here. And there's a couple of crates, barrels here as well that you can steal from. There's stuff inside, but I don't think it's worth it. So once you've collected everything, you just come this way, and there is a refuge, Outlaws Refuge right here. And you remember what I said about entering the refuge, resetting all the stolen stuff? It's the same here. Oh, the cat's waging war with a toy next to me. That's cute. So you just enter the Outlaws Refuge, exit, come back outside, come to the front door, go inside, up the stairs, and as you can see, everything has reset, so you can just go nuts, grab everything again. And again, just as much, do this as much as you can, as much as your inventory can handle. And just keep doing that over and over, and that's it. So, now we go back outside. I was going to see if I get a bounty from getting too close to the edges here. Okay, still no. Yep. I don't know. Don't know if it's possible. Yeah, you just do that over and over. So, come back to the Outlaws Refuge. When you're inside the Outlaws Refuge, you can go through this little gap in the fence, come down here, drop down a third level, and the fence is right here. And then just go nuts. There's only a few things I would consider laundering. Lockpicks, unless you've got like hundreds of the things. And the, what are they? The decorating wax. This stuff here. You can get that from urns as well. I suggest laundering and selling that on guild stores, because that can actually sell for quite a bit. Maybe food recipes, or like food materials if you want to hold on to them, but everything else just go nuts, I said. Maybe aside from like some purple blueprints. Okay. And if you want to get more inventory space, just launder everything else. It will cost gold, but what you can do is go to the merchant and just sell everything back. And what that'll do is, it'll just mean you don't lose or gain any gold from it, because everything that you just... oh, whoops, that might have been something I wanted. Yeah, Luminous Ink. So, everything that you sell... everything that you launder costs gold, but everything that you sell costs the same amount of gold that you launder it for. So, you don't lose anything from doing that. So, don't worry too much about that. Only if you keep the item, should it be any problem. And, you know, obviously just have a bit of gold. But we got a little bit of gold for one of the dailies recently, so it shouldn't be a problem. So I'll cover the other way to do this, which sacrifices getting a massive bounty to cut down how long it takes you to do this. Because if you do it this way, you can do it incredibly quickly. Just, again, you need a lot of inventory space, and you're going to rack out a pretty fucking crazy bounty by doing this. But what you want to do is come to the Aegis Oriel. There are a couple of other places. Shadowfen's a good example. The 3 stalls here, they have a ton of items in them too. And there's other places, I'm sure. But this one's really easy to get to because you get use a waystone that you start with by default, and there's just tons of items in here, and you're in a building where there's no guards anywhere. Like, well, there's a guard right outside, but in ESO guards don't chase you into buildings, so it's not a problem. There's a guard right there, but what you can do is, again, like create a new character or just use a character that is like a side character, and just steal everything in this place. You will get... Wow, what are the odds? Nobody's seeing me take all this stuff. So you will usually get a bounty from doing this. So, and the bounty gets pretty fucking huge. But like it's fast. Like you can get half of this endeavor done in a single go. And then if you either log off and log back in, or log off and go to a different character, you can get the rest done. And it probably take like 5 minutes. But the only issue with that is the amount of time it'll take for the bounty to go away afterwards, because it will take a while. But it probably won't take as long as you think. A few hours. So if you do this before you go to bed, and by the time you wake up, the bounty will probably be gone. So yeah, you can see that was like 40 items or some shit. So yeah. And you know, there's a couple more things upstairs. And if you really want to go nuts, don't worry too much. Like, having a huge bounty is a pain in the ass, but you can go pretty close to guards and they won't give a shit. Like, for example, like you got these guards over here. Like, yeah, like they don't give a shit. So the building just across the road, basically, just be careful of the guards around here, but you can come in here and do literally the same thing, and there's like tons of stuff to steal here too. You got this stuff here, bows on the bench, grab that, weapons on the rack. You got stuff over here too. Some daggers here. That's the thing. There's like also stuff in these stacks and stuff. So yeah. So there you go. So just do that for a while, and at the bottom left, there's an add-on I use to tell what the bounty time is going to be. I think this is Bandit that gives this. I'm not too sure. But yeah, as you can see, 10 hours. So it is a fair bit of a wait time. But if you just do this on a side character, by the time you need to do anything on them, it's probably going to be gone anyway. So yeah, those are the three main ways I would do this. But yeah, definitely think for practicality's sake, either do the Necrom Underway strat or the Craglorn Gem and Flask strat. You can do this too if you really want to make it quick. Right, so next up, I'll cover the defeating enemies one. Just get the tree out of the way. So this one, there's a little bit of leniency compared to last kills, as per the weekly last week. With this one, you don't actually have to get the kill yourself, as long as you help deal damage. So I'm just going to do that. Get that one. Just do a couple of light attacks. Yeah, you can see there's 2. There's 3. Yeah, you don't need to kill them, which is great. It just makes it so much easier. So that sort of means there's a lot of different ways you can do this. Some of them are a bit impractical, but if you want to keep it simple, this is what I think you should do. Dolmens. So there's quite a few enemies that spawn at Dolmens, especially when there's a lot of players. Now the best way I think to go about doing this is to equip a restoration staff and just go around just light attack tapping every enemy that you see. So that way you get participation for a ton of enemies with a weapon that is just easy to send out little beams everywhere, because the missile speed for restoration staves is so fast that it just means it's like super easy to get participation on a bunch of enemies. So that's the simple way. Sort of just watch YouTube and just brainlessly attack people with the rest of the stuff in the background. But it's not the fastest way. Definitely not. So if you do want to do Dolmens, I like Oridon, I like Deshaan, and most people I think like Alika Desert. I'm not a big fan of this one just because it's just too busy, I think. Enemies usually die before you can even get a chance to hit them sometimes. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But yeah, usually Oridon's good, especially if there's like 5 or 6 people, because that's when the amount of enemies is like really high, maybe 10 people max. the amount of enemies is like crazy, but the chance we have of killing enemies or getting participation for defeating enemies is the highest. But the definite best way to do this is going to be public dungeons and Skyreach. So Skyreach is the best option of the lot for sure because it's instant. The best way to get there is to use Earth Tier Cavern through home tours. Same thing as through like getting to Craglorn itself. So Earth Tier is here. Just keep in mind again, browse homes is better just because sometimes they don't show up in recommended. So yeah, you can use that to travel across here, up here, through here, down the road here, and you get to the Waystone. And then you've got easy access to Skyreach. But you don't have to use Skyreach. You can use all sorts of public dungeons. The only caveat to public dungeons, though, is when there's enemies... When there's players running around them killing all the enemies, sometimes the enemies take a while to respawn, and it can mean it's not as efficient for you. Whereas Skyreach Catacombs, this place is instant. So what that means is when you're not in a group, nobody else can enter the version of Skyreach Catacombs that you have. So you can go in there, and everything that is in there is just, it's gonna be spawned in, ready to fight. And it just means you're spending less time waiting for stuff to respawn. You can just go straight in and just kill everything and call it a day. Now, the Skyreach amount of enemies you can kill in there is around 250. So, even if you just do Skyreach once and then kill a bunch of enemies at Dolmens or public dungeons, could be good. So yeah, I'll just show you an example of going through a public dungeon, and then I'll just show you an example of what I would do in Skyreach. So, for example, choose small gully. You just get mobs of enemies. Oh yeah, not a good example here, but just come through with a bunch of AoE skills and just start mopping shit up. Public dungeons will usually have more enemies in a group than you'll find in the Overland, if you're not too familiar. So, usually you can kill more enemies in a short amount of time. Man, my sustain is shit. I have no stamina to get out of it. Whoops. Wow. Well, that was embarrassing. Oh, that'd do it. I don't have any, yeah. Alright, yeah, there we go. So that should help a lot more. Get revenge. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. You'll get it. The only issue is other people have the same idea, so... But if this happens, you can get participation with a lot of kills by just putting an AoE on the floor. So if you don't want to have to do the run around to get to Skyreach, there is a way to get up this cliff, but it's just a little bit finicky. So let's come up here, around this bit, get over here, and just make sure you don't fall off there. Up here, this is the bit that will usually you'll be stuck on for a little bit. So you have to go. Oh yes, this bit. So yeah, that's the issue you'll have. So if you jump too much to the left, you'll fall off. Follow down when you go that side. There. Okay. So once you get that, just keep jumping up, and you'll make it over this side. There's a chest over there. So now we just go. Just watch out for the Necrom mine. It's been cleared though, so just get to this part of the road here, and you just turn left up this this hill. And then the way shines right here. And then from the Wayshrine, you can just jump down off the bridge and get there easier. So just make sure if you want to jump off the bridge, you've got Breakfall. The champion point that reduces your fall damage, and just jump off there. With the compass, just aim at Skyreach Catacombs. And just jump off there. Be careful if you stage your vampire coming down here, by the way. If you don't heal yourself after the jump, it will kill you. I have learned that the hard way. So bringing a ton of AoE in here is good, because there's tons of enemies to kill. So what I like to do is at least bring one of these 2 champion points in here, so every time you kill an enemy you get a bunch of resources back, so you don't end up running out of resources super quick. So this first room is straightforward. There's just melee enemies, so just wait for them all to group up and then just AoE them down. They do like a little flinch knockback thing, which is kind of annoying. The pound, yeah, there you go. That's annoying. Okay, you will want to bring some heals in here. Nightblade, Magicka Nightblade with like Sap Essence, or a Magicka Templar with Puncturing Squeaks would be good. So in these rooms, there's these bone mounds here that you want to grab, and then there are the fires over here that you want to attack the enemies in. And then aggro all the enemies and bring them right here. Probably put some food on and stuff. I don't even have food bloody slotted. Group up all the enemies like that, and then just go nuts. Now you will get snared like fucking crazy in here all the bloody time. So bringing something that makes you faster, or bringing like a snare remover might be good in here. Also maybe carry a little bit more health, just in case you get bursted down by a bunch of enemies, especially if you're low champion points. Bring a food like, for stamina you could go, I don't know if I've got any, but, Dubious? Yeah, so Dubious gives you health, stamina, and stamina recovery. It's pretty good in here. And then Witch Mother's Potent Brew is the Magicka version. These are pretty good. There's tons of different foods out there that can work. It just depends on what you want. So, more enemies there. More enemies here. Another Bone Mound here, want to make sure we grab that. Another Bone Mound right there, so want to make sure we grab that. Bring this group in as well, because that'll help for later. So, group up all the enemies here. Now, if you want to get all the ranged enemies in one spot, usually moving around these pillars here is a good idea, because it will cause all the ranged enemies to group up, and then it makes killing the rest of the enemies easier. Because the melee enemies will follow you, the ranged enemies won't. So, grouping up everything at once is really helpful. And as you kill stuff, other stuff will spawn, so you will have to group them again and again. That's just the nature of Skyreach. Alright, so this room, there's a group of enemies here, a group of enemies there, and a group of enemies there. So the best way to do this, the quickest way, but the most dangerous, is to grab the chest and then group all the enemies, and you'll see why. So if you don't want to deal with the all the stuff at once, kill these groups first and then open the chest. But if you want everything at once, start the chest up and then grab everything. I'll just go up and grab these guys quickly. And what you can do is just come over here, because that'll bring all the ranged enemies as close as you can bring them. And with a bit of luck, all the ranged enemies will group up in the middle alongside where all the enemies are. And then get a big stun in there. And just keep moving, because speed is a form of defense, because you don't have to have a lot of health if you don't get hit. And just keep putting AoEs down, especially with the with siphoning spells and Bloody Renewal, those champion points I showed you before. You just get tons of resources just by doing this. And it's even better for Nightblades, because they get ulti-gen back from their ultimate Soul Harvest. So every time you kill an enemy, it gives you tons of ultimate, so you just keep casting your ultimate over and over. But yeah, as you can see, just tons upon tons of enemies will spawn from this spot. So it just means that you will rack up tons of kills for this weekly as well. So you can see what I mean. It's like, you look at this compared to Battlegrounds, like, they're not even close. So yeah, you can see lots and lots of enemies we've already got from this. And then the same thing through here. The only thing is I wouldn't fight this guy because he's bloody annoying. He's a tanky boy. But yeah, you've got these groups of enemies. He apparently doesn't... Oh, you know what I've done? Settings, nameplates. Yeah, as you can see here, it's just the same, but just in a different place. Just kill all the enemies. And there's 2 bone mounds right here, so it's like, it's just great. And again, you can just put them all in this corner here. Stun the shit out of them. Just obliterate them. And that's it. That's the weekly done. Yeah, I don't believe there is 300 enemies in here, but there is like close to 300 enemies. Yeah, there you go. Considering that we did a couple from the Dolmen and the public dungeon, that's not 300. But, like, it's close. Don't have to do much other than that. Alright, so that's the weekly's done. As always, if you've got any questions for me, just put them in the comments, I'll answer you. If you've got anything to add, as always, that's good too. But that weekly's done for now. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for your support as always. It is always and greatly appreciated. But for now, take care everyone, and I will see you next time.